Okay, now we're going to go over how to find the surface area of a rectangular prism, a square pyramid, and a triangular prism. So if you turn to page 21 in your notes, we will go over this. So first, the rectangular prism on page 21. So this rectangular prism just going to draw it. This looks dotted, and then this is dotted, solid, solid, solid. Okay, here's my rectangular prism. The height is 5, the height is 4, the length is 5, and the width is 8. So I have measurements of 4, 5, and 8. Now, if I was to break this down into the 6 faces, I have a face in the front that's the same as the face in the back. This is 4, this is 5. So I have 2 faces that are 4 by 5, 4 by 5. That's the front and the back. Now I have 2 faces. This is 4, this is 4. I have 2 faces that are 4 by 8. And then I have, that's side to side. And then top to bottom, the top would be 5 by 8. Okay, so I had side to side here, but although the way I just did it now, this is top to bottom, this is side to side. So these 4 shapes make up my rectangular prism. So to find the surface area of the entire rectangular prism, I just have to find the individual areas of the faces. So that's pretty easy, because area equals length times width. So in this case it's 20, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 8 is 32, 4 times 8 is 32, 5 times 8 is 40, 5 times 8 is 40, and now I just add these all together. So 40 plus 40 is 80, 32 plus 32 is 64, and 20 plus 20 is 40. So that's 104 plus 80. This equals 180 units squared. So this surface area would be 180 units squared. Okay, now, still on page 21, we're going to find the surface area of a square pyramid. Now, first of all, how do we know this is a square pyramid? Well, we know that the base is a square because this is 10 by 10, which means this is 10 and this is 10. Okay, so the base is definitely a square. Then we see that the 4 sides that have a base of 10 are all triangles, and that the height of our triangle is 6. So that means I have one square base, which is 10 by 10, and then I have 4 triangles. And the base of all these triangles is 10, and the height of all these triangles is 6. Now, to get the area of a square, area equals length times width, so this is 100. To get the area of a triangle, I do base times height divided by 2. So this is 10 times 6 divided by 2. So this is 30. But I have 4 that measure 30. So 4 times 30 is 120, plus the 100 for the square, and that means that the surface area of this square pyramid is 220 units. because I added the area of each individual face. A square base, 4 triangular faces. Okay, now turning to page 22, we're going to do perhaps the most difficult one. And this is the most difficult because it's the most irregular. And this is a triangular prism made up by a scalene triangle. Now, a scalene triangle is a triangle that has all 3 sides different in measure. Okay? So, now, and this kind of looks like a piece of cheese. And I didn't do the best job of drawing it, but you can look at the picture you have in your packet. So, here, this is made up of a triangle on top and a parallel and congruent triangle on the bottom. This is what makes this a prism. 2 parallel and congruent bases. So I have 2 bases that are triangles. Now, the sides here, let me draw this again. Okay, here is my rectangular top. The sides are created like this. Just visualize this sort of opening up. If this side is 10, then this rectangle has a length of 10 and a height of 2. If this side is 6, then this rectangular base has a height of 2 and a length of 6. And if this side is 8, this rectangle has a height of 2 and a length of 8. So I have 2 parallel and congruent bases that are triangles, and then 3 sides that are rectangles. But all 3 rectangles are different dimensions. They all have a height of 2, but one has a length of 6, one has a length of 8, and one has a length of 10. And that comes from the sides of the triangle. So, now I just have to find the area of my individual faces, and that will give me the surface area of this triangular prism. So, the area of the rectangles, very simple. This is 16, this is 12, this is 20. 16 plus 12 is 28, plus 20 is 48. And now, to the 48, I just have to add the area of the triangle. Well, area of a triangle is base times height over 2. Now, when you have a right triangle, your base and height are always the sides adjacent or next to the right angle. So you see how 8 is one side of the right angle, 6 is the other side, 10 is opposite, so you don't use 10 at all. So I do 6 times 8 divided by 2, which is 48 divided by 2 is 24. But I have 2 triangles, so I have to do 24 plus 24. And 48 plus 48 is 96. So this surface area is 96 units squared. Okay, now on the next page, we're going to learn how to find the surface area of a rectangular prism and a cylinder using a formula.